Fellas, how's it going? Ladies, I hope you had the happiest of Thanksgivings. Today we're gonna talk about how I turned this into this. What's up, everybody? It's Carney. That's me. I'm Carney. Welcome to How I Lost the Kenny Beats Beat Battle, the brand new hit series on NBC, where I participate in the Kenny Beats Beat Battle and fail because I can't make a whole beat in an hour. Well, I mean, I can't make a good beat in an hour. And then I see what I can do to fix it and, I don't know, share a beat breakdown of what I hope is a much better beat to you guys. And before anyone comes in here and is like, really, you're making a fucking beat breakdown for this battle that you didn't win? There are people making how I got 8th place in the Kenny Beats Beat Battle type videos. No one is allowed to tell me that I can't do this. All right, let's just jump right into it. So this was for the November 19th battle, the baby back ribs at Chili's battle. This battle meant a lot to me. I have spent a lot of time at Chili's in my day, and I'm gonna be honest, I think that they get too much hate. I don't give a shit. I like Chili's. Fuck you if you don't like Chili's. You ever been to Chili's when they got like those little Chili's logos that kids drew? That's for kids in the hospital. Does Red Robin do that? Does TGI Fridays do that? I didn't think so. Chili's does that. So I was happy to do the baby back ribs jingle flip. I'm gonna play the beat that I made on the Saturday, like the one that I made in an hour right now. It's not good, but I think I came in like 55th place of like 232, and I think that's okay. I think a lot of the ideas in this aren't that bad. I actually kept most of the ideas, I just did more processing and kind of like mixed it better and etc. But yeah, here's the original beat. There's gonna be chapters on this video, so feel free to skip it if you just want to get to the better one.
It's so much better. There you go. Yeah, much better.
So yeah, I don't think that's that good. I think I didn't have enough time to do any processing to anything. Like, the bass is way too dry. There's nothing like gluing it all together mix-wise. So let's jump into what I did to fix it. Okay, so let's start with the intro. I have frozen a lot of tracks on this because you can see it up here, my CPU is, like, I'm not even doing anything, it's at 50%. I need a new computer. So let's start with the thing. This is how I started the entire beat, was with this Rhodes kind of like descending thing. But here it is. We got a little delay there. And then below that, I just had the actual baby back ribs sample.
A little edge on it, just a little more. How's yours? A little. There you go. Yeah, much better. Give it a little.
And then I just faded it out. So this is the real kicker of the biggest thing that I changed about the intro, is what the bass was doing. First it was just that little, and I like that idea, but it was just, there was nothing to it. So I decided to kind of like create a sample within this thing that I was already sampling. I do that a lot, where I put things together, I'll, put a bunch of tracks and layer them together, and then I resample them to turn it into like its own sample, because for some reason that just kind of like hits my brain differently. So here's the sample that I ended up with. And here's each part of those. These are frozen, but I'll just show it to you. These two here, these are just this is the same bass part, But one of them I chopped up it's this one. One of them I chopped up to kind of harmonize with the other one, and I put a bunch of like saturation on it to make it sound kind of like console-y. It doesn't actually sound like a console, but I don't know, just like that type of like sort of aggressive distortion. So here's one. So that's the original one. This is the one that I chopped to harmonize with it. And together. So yeah, that's a bass, and I kind of turn it into a little like maybe like a baritone guitar-y sort of thing. Here is just some this is a crash and a kick. I'll just play these together because it's just kind of like emphasizing each hit. And then finally, I have a Farfisa. If you don't have this plug, go get this plugin. It's from the Arturia suite. I have the whole V collect. Well, I have like the old V collection, like the 7. I don't have the Juno or anything like that. But the Farfisa, it's so cool. It's like they have one that's like more like classic organs, but the Farfisa is like shitty organs, and they just sound so fucking cool. It's sick. It's like B-52s type stuff. Anyway, so I resampled all of that into this, and this is how I got all of it together. One other thing that you need to know about this is that it all is going through Sketch Cassette. Sketch Cassette's going to be coming up a lot in this breakdown. I don't know. I just love how it sounds. This one has successfully overtaken RC20 for me. I definitely use Sketch Cassette more than RC20 now, which I didn't think I'd ever think I'd say, but hey, here I am. And then it's just got a little bit of Valhalla on it, but this is the Sketch Cassette. It's the unearthed preset, and I just made it sound as crappy as possible. I left some of the hiss on it for when the hits happen, but then I just have a gate behind it because I don't actually want the hiss to be there the whole time. And then we got Valhalla. Yeah, just a haul. It's not too much, but just to give it some space. And then after these hits is where this stuff comes in. So first, we have kind of like a parallel, like the whole I think I did this on accident, being honest, where I resampled the whole intro, and it just ended up being a little more like dark. Yeah, so there's that. But then also I have this drone that comes in. Did I do anything with the clip itself? Yes, I did. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the clip, I did this with a couple of things, but as you can see here, I have it kind of taper off at the end. Yeah, and then also in the intro, we have this gunshot effect. I had it kind of like lead up into it. I put a delay on it, and so it goes. It's a gunshot. It's always gonna sound good. And then finally, I have this little fill. It's kind of like a drum machine sort of thing. Did I do anything to this? Oh yeah, I put it through this Analog Obsession plugin called Prebox. This just has like 11 different presets that are different preamp emulations, and I just cranked it to make it kind of crunch a little bit. So here's that. And then I had that transposed down to like swoop down as well. All right, so let's get into the meat of it. This is kind of like the main beat, and there's a B section. So well, not the main part. It's like an A section and a B section. Here's the A section. So this is all of it. Alright, so let's go through these one by one. First, we got the drum machine. This is just sort of to kind of give it some hop to it, a little bit of like off-kilter stuff. There's some rim shots and some congas and stuff. Yeah, and this has a lot of crap on it. There's RC20, there's trash, there's vintage verb, compression, etc. And then this is just a resampled version of the exact same thing. And I'm just running that parallel. Then moving down here, we got the bass. So as with a lot of things on this, it's sidechained to the kick. A lot of other things in here are as well, so I'm not going to go over that too much just because it's a very basic kick sidechain. But I also have track spacer on it, and I'm actually just having this sidechain specifically a little extra around 82 hertz. So 82 and below, it's gonna like really give way to the kick, to let the kick kind of live in that low end. And the bass is still gonna thump a lot, because I put on, I'm not gonna open it just because I don't want to unfreeze this, but on both of these, I put on Love End, which is another Analog Obsession plugin. And this song ended up, I think it was in like C minor, so I put it at 65 hertz, which is the fundamental, and I cranked the hell out of it. So the bass is super beefy, but I didn't want it to like clash with the kick every time they meet. Okay, moving down to the guitars. This is kind of the same thing I was talking about earlier, like in the intro. I like layering things and then creating a sample out of it. Okay, so this is the high one. This is the hard pan left lower octave. And then the hard pan right lower octave. All right, so there's a bunch of sketch cassette on that. I think it's even on it twice. Yeah, good God. I also put some fuzz on the whole group to really glue it together. And then TDR Nova is just a dynamic EQ. What am I taking out? Yeah, I'm just taking out some lows there. Because I really don't want that living down there. I just want it to kind of, I don't know, just live above that. I don't know why I felt the need to explain that. But anyway, so we have RC20 and sketch cassette. Well, I'm not gonna say it's too much because I think it sounds okay, but that's probably too much. Anyway, I ended up resampling it. This is the whole thing put together after all the processing, more EQs on it to sort of like tame some of that high end. There's a tiny little bit of Alter Boy on this. The mix is barely up, but I just wanted to add some of that beef back, but it's just with the formant down. It's not the pitch, so it's just kind of like adding a little body to it. I gotta be honest, I don't like Little Alter Boy that much. I think it just sounds too digital. I really like the idea of like the formant shifting and stuff, and this is definitely one of the most powerful ones, but I just don't like how it sounds, so I had the dry wet down. If anybody knows of a good formant shifter that sounds super clean, so you just get that like boo, 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 like kind of thing on your voices, put it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Then let's see here. We got the Korg Mini-Log, which I have right there. These are both also being sidechained. On each individual one, there's some compression and just some reverb. So basically, I wanted both of these synths in this section and the next one to just be like super in the back and just kind of like filling up some high end and just sort of like adding some air to the whole thing. So there you go, there's that. Then we have the Rhodes. This is essentially, this first one for this, and then when it comes back at the end, it's essentially the same as it was in the intro. There's a little bit of a different processing, but I'll let you hear that for just like a second. It's definitely more like messed up, but it's the exact same part, and it's essentially the same as far as, I don't know, like the vibe. So now we got some of the Chili samples. Here's the ribs. And then I automated it to put Echo Boy on the second one. And then I also had these little, I took the Baby and I just pitched it up and made it just a little, just in there. So in context, that's... Now let's get into the drums. I called them live drums. They are not live. They are samples, as you can see. You can't trust me, man. I got no rules in 2022. So here are just the drums on their own. So we got, it's pretty simple. I wanted it to bounce a lot, and I think most of the work for that is kind of being done by this sort of like over to the left sort of like hi-hat sample. I made it sound super roomy. it just never really feels on beat, you know? And then we got a hat tam. This is literally just keeping, I think it's would it be quarter notes? Yes, it's literally just keeping quarter notes. And then we just got a kick and a snare, exactly as you'd expect. All right, let's move on to the B section. So the bass is pretty much the same for this. We got some saturation on it. We got some of that Love End plugin that's really cranking up 65 hertz to make it, you know, just really be beefy down there. We have the samples for... It's just, you know, random parts of the Chili sample. I don't know why this isn't put in the group with the other Chili samples. I have no idea what I'm doing. Then we got these guitars. These are just panned left and right. So these are pretty simple. When I put these in, I might have put some processing on them, but it's really simple. I'm just sort of band passing them. I'm compressing them a little bit, throwing them through, you guessed it, Sketch Cassette. And then I actually threw this through Space Modulator as well. So here's the Sketch Cassette preset. Almost a tremolo. And then space. Oh, that's fucking great. All right, guys, we got a crash. I don't know what the hell is going on. Space Modulator is not that powerful of a plugin, but every time I click it, it just like completely goes insane. That one and Addictive Drums. I don't know what it is. Every time I try to open them, it crashes Ableton. This is great. We're really off without a hitch on this one. Okay, so yeah, Space Modulator is on this. I'm not gonna show it to you because I don't want Ableton to crash again. So here's the mini log. That's, again, just back there. I created a preset on there that I called G-Funk Era, and it's a reference to, on the intro to Doggy Style, Snoop says, this is... And I ripped off the synth that they play in the outro of that song. So there you go. That's it. Just that kind of like G-funky, like just the super long glide on it. And then I just threw it through a bunch of reverb and put this ML Distance plugin on it. So ML Distance is cool because it's doing what a lot of people want a reverb to do, but without the reverb. Like, it's just pushing things back. It's a Max for Live plugin. If you have Ableton, I recommend it. It's very useful. So this is a big one. When we got to this part, I wanted something different with the keys, and I'm still using the Arturia Stage 73, which is just the Rhodes. I just chose a different preset for it. This one sounded kind of Daft Punky to me, so thought that was cool. And it's cool. There's, in that plugin, there's like pedals, quote unquote, on the floor that you can use with the Rhodes, and there's also an amp, and I turned the vibrato up on the amp, and it sounds really good. Then we just have this break, which kind of like is the biggest difference maker between the A section and the B section. So as you can hear, I got Echo Boy automated on here, so basically, it's not specifically every other time. I think I did it kind of randomly, but it just, on some of the snares, I just have it kind of just delay on those snares just for like a split second, just to give it some character. And then I have that also track spacered to the kick, which is following the same kick pattern of the break, but I wanted the beefier low end, so here's both of them together. And then finally, this section really just felt like it was missing something, but I didn't know what it was, so I pulled up Spitfire Labs, which is, I'm sure you've heard about it by now, if you've been looking into music production stuff at all, because it's probably one of the best free plugin suites that has ever been created. But they have this one pack called like London Atmosphere or something like that, and I literally just took this, and I just played one note throughout the whole thing, and then resampled it, and it's just like Foley noise from the streets of London. Also, I put Phase Mistress on it. And then finally, we got this little outro. It's just bringing back the sample for the Baby Back Ribs thing. and I automated the reverb on this to get wetter as the song ended. Then I have the same guitar sample as the A section, but I pitched it up by an octave. And there you go, I pitched that down too to end the song. That's also a print of the delay that I threw it through. Here's the Rhodes for the outro, same as it always was. And then I also put in the intro kind of sample that I made one last time, and then I pitched that down as well to end the song. And then really quick, I'm just going to go through these sends because I think they're pretty important to how the actual beat sounds. I picked this up from a friend of mine. His name's Garth Tim. Hit him up if you want him to like mix your stuff or master your stuff. He's very good. But it's just like mixing into compression to kind of have like a whole parallel thing going in your mix. This is what that sounds like on its own. And here's the mix without it. Just kind of loses some of that beef, you know? Then we got an eighth note delay. That's exactly what you think it is. I just use it for some of the things. I have an audio effect rack called the Toomey, named affectionately after the one and only Alex Toomey. I picked this up from another beat breakdown who was referencing Alex in his breakdown. But this is a really good trick. It's basically just you put an auto filter, like a high pass, and then you put decapitator. These are my settings. It really doesn't matter which settings it is. I mean, like, you can kind of do whatever you want if you have a specific sound you like with this. And then just the Ozone Imager, and you just have that as a send. And so if you want something to have just a little more kind of like, you want to just lift it a little bit and give it some stereo width, you just throw it through this send. So let's see how that sounds. So like I didn't put the kick through this at all because I don't need to. It's filling up so much low end and it doesn't need to be stereo spread in the highs, you know? And finally, we have just a little room reverb. It's a pretty short decay. And this is really just to tie a lot of things together. This is what it sounds like. It's just really helpful to just like actually take everything and literally put it in a room or a hall or a chamber, like whatever it's supposed to be. In this case, it's a room for me. But here, let me play this without the room reverb. Now I'm gonna play it with the room reverb. There you go, man. Just really ties the room together. And then on the mastering chain, I just have Gullfoss, which I put on every mix, and you should too, it's fantastic. I have another Analog Obsession plugin called Lala, it's just an LA2A. I have yet another sketch cassette. This one I think is pretty, yeah, like I have the mix down pretty low on a lot of it, and it's not super hissy or anything. And even the wow and flutter is like completely down. It's really just to kind of like give it just a little extra glue and compression. And then I have Ozone 9 doing my mastering stuff on it. I'm not going to go into that just because I'm not good at mastering. It's not going to be helpful to you at all. So yeah, there you go. That's how I lost the Kenny Beats Beat Battle. Tune in next time to see what I do when I lose the next Kenny Beats Beat Battle. Hopefully this was helpful. I think this is significantly a better beat. Like, I think if I turned this in the hour, I think it probably could have done pretty well, but that's the whole point. Yeah, I didn't do it in an hour, so I'm not saying that like I'm so great. I just mean like, I think it's better now. So there you go. That's the beat. I'm going to play the whole thing in full right now. I'm going to start making more stuff on this YouTube channel, so if you liked this or you like any of the other stuff that I have on here, feel free to subscribe, comment, like, share. You could send me some money if you wanted to. And if you live in the Los Angeles or just Southern California-ish area and you want to work on some music, I'm always down. If you liked this, of course, obviously if you thought this was shitty, you're probably not going to want to work with me on anything. So here is the beat in full. Fellas, you have a good day, and say something nice to the ladies on the way out.